Welcome, amazing friends, and let's solve this math Olympiad equation together. I tell you it's very simple, okay? Meanwhile, if you know what to do, kindly drop your comments in the comment section. And if you don't, join me as I show you the best way to solve this equation. But when you look at this question, it's somehow scary, but don't be scared. It's very simple, okay? Now let's do it together. So we're going to begin it with solution. Now, when you look at this question, you will notice that you have, okay, let's bring the question down. We have 4 to the power of x minus 7 into 10 to the power of x plus 10 into 25 to the power of x is equal to 0. Now, when you see equation of this type with these terms having powers of x, and in between the terms you have this operation, addition and subtraction, please, what you usually do is just look out for the term with the power of x you can use to divide each of the terms. It will help you to know the next step to follow. And to do this here, we are going to use this to divide each of the terms, okay? And to do that, we are going to have, so we're dividing each term by 4 to the power of x. You can choose any one with this power of x. It gives you the same result. So we're going to divide this also by 4 to the power of x, divide this by 4 to the power of x. And you know this is equation. So what you do to the left, do to the right. So you also divide this by the 4 to the power of x. And when you divide the number by itself, it gives you 1. So we have minus. Now what do you do here? You can choose to put these ones that are the same together. But I want to remind you of something. One of the exponential rules which says if you have a over b and is raised to power x, it is the same thing as raising a to the power of x, and this b will be raised to the power of x. Now what do you do? For this, you are going to now have, this can now be, you notice here this one has x and this one has x, and the both of them are dividing just like what you have here. So you can just simply put them in this form to now have 7 into 10 over 4 raised to power of x. To know more about indices in its simplified form, check the link in the comments. Okay, so here we're going to have plus 10, okay? See that this has power of x as well as this. And what do you do? And they are dividing. Obeying this, you are going to have it as 25 over 4, then raise it to the power of x. And when you divide 0 by any number, it gives you, by a number, it gives you back 0. Did you see that? So what do you do at this point? Let me show you what you will do. So you are going to simplify to have 1 minus, then we have 7. You notice you can simplify this, you can reduce it. 2 can divide this, and 2 can divide this 5. So you are having 5 over 2 to the power of x plus, for this you know you cannot divide this, but you remember 25 is a perfect square. And if 25 is a perfect square, it means that 5 times 5 will give you this, to give you 5 squared. Did you see that? 4 is also perfect, and 2 times 2 will give you 4. So 2 raised to power 2 is the same as 4. So let's apply it here. So we're going to have 5 squared over 2 squared, all raised to power of x, is equal to 0. Interesting. Now what do you do again? You simplify. So we're going to have 1 minus 7 into 5 over 2 to the power of x plus 10. Now, for this value inside, just obey this. So that you're going to have 5 over 2 to the power of 1 power of 2, then raise it to the power of x is equal to 0. Interesting. Now, at this point, let me remind you of another tip you should know when it comes to exponents, which says when you have a and this a is raised to power of m, you have it this way. A is raised to power m and is raised to another power n. It is the same as what you do is you multiply the powers, okay? It's also the same as a raised to power n, then raised to power m. What did you observe? The powers are switched. So whether you do it this way or this, they are talking about the same thing. So at this point, you are free to switch this power. You have a target. We are going to see to that. So we are going to now have 1 minus, repeat this, we have 7 into 5 over 2 to the power of x. Then here we're going to have plus 10. We switch this power. So we're going to have 5 over 2 raise it to the power of x, and then finally to the power of 2. Okay, and everything is equal to 0. Interesting. So what do you do? Did you observe anything? Yes, you observe here that this value is now common with the same power. Did you see that? So at this point, just try and replace it with any variable of your choice. So for me, I want to choose letter y. So I can say let 5 over 2 to the power of x be equal to y. So what do you do? Anywhere you see this, replace with y. So we're going to have 1 minus 7. This has taken the shape of y. So we write y plus 10. This one inside has taken the shape of y, and you know it's raised to power of 2. So it will be 10y squared is equal to 0. And what does this lead you to? Interesting. It leads you to quadratic equation, because you notice that the highest power of this common variable y is 2. So at this point, you are free to choose any method you know on how to solve quadratic equation. For me, I want to teach you how to use the factoring method. So what do you do here? You can just rearrange this so that this one comes first, then followed by this, okay? Then this is positive 1, I hope you know, and everything is equal to 0. So what do you do? For factoring method, you will see that the quotient of y squared here is 10. So use it to multiply this constant. And when you multiply 10 by this, it will give you 10. So the question is, what two numbers can you multiply to give you this 10? And when you add them, it gives you negative 7. Where can we get the two numbers from, and what are the two numbers? It's very simple, okay? The two numbers, you get it from the numbers that can divide 10. That's the factors of 10. Okay? Now, what are those numbers? You can think. Now, let me help you. The two numbers, you can choose 2 and 5. What signs? You can choose negative 2 and negative 5. If you multiply these two, it gives you positive 10. And when you add it together, it still gives you what? Negative 7. So the trick I want to show you is, at this point, because it's y squared, you just need to open two brackets for y, okay, and bring down your equal sign. Now what do you do? It's y squared, so one y will be here, another will be here. Now these two values you got, you have put one here and one here. Don't be too fast to conclude. There is a number here before y squared, which is 10. So you are going to use it to divide each of this number you have here, okay? Now when you do that, you are going to have this here is 1, here is 5. And when this divides 1, here is 2. So what do you do? This 5, you are going to use it to multiply this y. If you do that, you are going to have 5y minus this 1 into, use this 2 to multiply this, you have 2y minus 1 is equal to 0. Did you see what we just got for factoring this? So at this point, it means that 5y minus 1 is equal to 0, or 2y minus 1 is equal to 0. Now let's work out for this. To get your y here, you remove this by adding 1 to both sides. So if you do that, you are going to have, this will cancel, we have 5y is equal to 1. To get y, divide by 5. And if you do that, y is equal to 1 over 5. But you know, we are not just done with this y. Let's get the other y. Here you also add 1. So if you do that, you have 2y is equal to 1. Divide by 2. If you do that, you are going to have y is equal to half. So you see we've gotten two values of y. But you know we are asked to find x. So let's do that together. But remember, we said earlier that let our y be this, okay? So what it means is that we need to make use of it to get the value of x. So we now recall, when y is 5 over 2 to the power of x, okay, this is what we have said earlier, okay? So in that case, we can now have it as, this is what we said. So we can say when y is 1 over 5, so we have when y is 1 over 5. What do you do here? Just replace it. So to do that, you are going to now have, this y will take the value of this. So we can write it as 5 over 2 to the power of x is equal to our y, which is 1 over 5. So what do you do at this point? Just take the log of both sides to enable you find the value of x. And to do that, you have log of 5 over 2, okay, raised to power of x is equal to log of 1 over 5. What do you do again? I want to remind you of this rule, very important rule, okay, which says that if you have log a to the power of x, use this power of x to multiply the log. It becomes x log a. So this rule is going to guide us through. Now, what do? This x here becomes the one that multiplies. So we're going to have x log 5 over 2 is equal to log of 1 over 5. Now, what do? To get your x, this becomes the coefficient. So you're going to divide by log of 5 over 2. You also divide this side by log of 5 over 2. So this can cancel, and you are having x is what? Log of 1 over 5 all over log of 5 over 2. But don't be too quick to conclude with this, because this answer is not yet simplified. Now let's simplify it together. If you have log of a over b, it is the same as when division will now turn to subtraction. So you have log a minus log b. This is an important rule that we are going to apply here. So we are going to have it as x is equal to log of, this one will now be log of 1 minus log of 5 all over. This will be log of 5 minus log of 2. So what do? Remember, in your logarithm rule, log of 1 is always 0. So this is going to give us x is equal to, this becomes 0 minus log of 5 all over log of 5 minus log of 2. So what do? If you subtract the numerator, you have negative log 5 all over log of 5 minus log of 2. But you know that we still need to simplify this, so don't be too quick to conclude. Be careful at this point. You cannot use this log 5 to cancel this. The reason is that at the denominator, you are having two terms, two log values, and they separated by an operation, subtraction. So when you have something like this with operation of subtraction or addition at the denominator, you cannot use the numerator to cancel. I hope this is clear, but let me show you what you will do to cancel it out. So we are going to have it from here. We are going to have, remember, if you have 1 over a over b, just reciprocal of this, you know it can be written as b over a. You switch it, it comes up, and this goes down. So this gives you this. So what it means is that when you have this, you can make it to be like this. Yes. So let's see if we can put this in this form. And if you do that, you are going to have, this will now be 1 over, let's switch it. So we're going to have 1 over log of 5 minus log of 2, then divided by log of 5. We have negative of it. I hope you understood what we did. So that when you switch it, this one will go up. Did you see? And this comes down and it returns you to this. I hope you've seen that. So what you have now is the essence of this is for easy cancellation. So we are going to have 1 over. So here we can now have log of 5. This denominator can divide each of the terms. So we have divided by log, negative log 5. Then we have minus log 2 divided by negative of log 5. We are just simplifying. And if you do that, you are going to have 1 over. When you divide this, what do you have? Remember, there is 1 here as a coefficient. And when you divide this, you are going to be left with negative 1. Okay? So what do? This can cancel. We are going to have positive. I hope you are with me. So we now have log. Remember, if you have log A divided by log B, it is the same as log A base B. Okay? So if you apply this one, you are going to have log of 2 base 5. So if you simplify it further, you can now have x as 1 of, we now have log of 2 base 5. Then this one with negative signs goes in. So this becomes the first value of x. Now let's get the second value of x. when y is 1/2. So when y is half, you also repeat the same process, okay? The same process you've just done, you repeat it. What do? Remember this. So we're going to have 5/2 to the power of x is equal to half. So what you do, also you take log of both sides, okay? So you also take log of this. And if you do that, you know, just like we said, the power multiplies. So we're going to have x log 5/2 then is equal to log of half. Now what do? You just have to divide by this to get your x. And if you do that, you are going to have, so this will give us x. So we're going to have x is equal to, remember the rule we applied here, division we turn to subtraction. So we have log of 1 minus log of 2 all over. Do the same here. Log of 5 minus log of 2, which is equal to, log of 1 we say is 0. So we have 0 minus log of 2 all over log of 5 minus log of 2. So if you simplify further, we're going to now have x is equal to, if you subtract this, you have negative of log 2 all over. This will give us log of 5 minus log of 2. Remember we said it, that you cannot use this to cancel this. It's against the rule. So we're going to switch it. And to do that, you are going to have 1 over, then you reverse this. So you are going to have log of 5 minus log of 2 is being divided by negative of log 2. Okay, so please remember this division is longer than this. This is the reciprocal. So we mean we are going to have x is equal to, if you switch this, you return to this. Okay, so this is going to give us 1 over. You can now use this to divide each term. So we have log of 5 all over negative of log 2, then minus log of 2 divided by negative of log 2. So you can now cancel this. Negative will cancel. So remember, when a number divides itself is 1. So this gives us x is equal to, we can adjust this now. And if you do that, we are going to have, so this is going to give us 1 over, what we have here now is negative. Remember the rule. This will now be log of 5 base 2. Okay, then this becomes plus, then remember there is 1 here. And if you simplify it further, it's going to give you 1 over, this one with positive comes first, then we have log of 5 base 2. So this becomes another value of x. So let's make it clearer in conclusion. So in conclusion, we can now say that the two values of y we have here are, so from here we have it that, from this point, we have it that the two values of x are 1 over log of 2 base 5 minus 1, which is this. And the second value of x is, we have 1 over 1 minus log of 5 base 2. So these are the two values of x as we have in the question. And I hope this really answered a lot for you. Remember, what we did was just to simplify your answer, which is what you should do as far as mathematics solving is concerned. I hope this answered a lot. Help us to share so that more people will learn more skills as we displayed. And remember to give this tutorial a thumbs up. Let's know how much helpful it is in the comments. Subscribe for the more. See you in our next class, and bye-bye.